Hello. A special good morning to you all. My name is Daddy Chris from Srtv studio in London. It's a great day. As you see behind me, it's unusual of the Good Morning Show. We're on a countdown to Edo 2024. And guess what? We're going to be rocking. It's going to be a kind of town hall meetings as the day move along. But what we're trying to do, we're trying to look into what is currently happening in Edo politics. Which way, Edo? Are you giving us the new Nigeria? Maybe the new Nigeria is just starting from here. Don't forget, I gave the history of Edo State a few in my last two broadcasts where I did let you all know that until the death of Obavaramin, Nigeria was never going to be given back to. But he died, and we have Nigeria. That sacrifice, that was the birth of Nigeria. Today, maybe they're about to give us a new beginning, a new direction. Who knows? Edo, would they set the pace? They've done it before. I remember during the one of their governorship election, Edo people came out and they defended their vote. And the last election, they said, Edo not be Lagos. On this election, what are they going to tell us? We need a new slogan. Hopefully we'll hear that, because the news reaching us is there is a threat from above to change this election. But I'm just saying it might not be true. But we're going to be looking at all that as this show move on. But the most important thing is to introduce you to the candidate, tell you about their manifestos, and see if we have evolved or where we have gone to in Nigerian politics. Of course, as usual, my girl is right here with me from Abuja. She's kinking, looking amazing. We might just want to look at that. And my guest, I'm going to introduce him properly. So, but first, let us gossip one or two things from Abuja before we bring the guest, because today is about Edo, not about Abuja, not about the news in Nigeria. The news, of course, is about still the news in Nigeria. So let's hear from Mary. Mary, how are you doing?
I'm fine. Good morning, Chris.
So, what is up in Abuja before we quickly bring in Edo, because today is Edo.
Okay, there's a real estate firm called Srtv. So they want to partner with the Federal Ministry of Science, right, and Technology in order to develop the city of Abuja. So
Abuja, they don't have a... Go, wait a minute. Go on, let me listen, because my mouth sometimes is too sharp. Go on, Mary.
When you hear positive news like this, let's acknowledge it now. It's positive, right?
Okay, thank God. Amen.
Yeah, just like it says, they want to make it a smart city. And the deal was actually sealed over the weekend. So that's one news in Abuja. So I don't know if you heard about the news of the drag race guy that hired a car worth over 400 million and had an accident with it. The car crashed, so nothing happened to the boy. And now he's appealing to Nigerians to help him, to support him, to see how he can pay back. Why some people tell you that this one is village people that followed the guy, because nothing happened to him. You see the way the car crashed, like everything in that car was scattered, but the guy survived it. So, but the question is, how can you go and borrow a car? What's that kind of amount just to do a drag and race? Although what I'm bringing it is that it happened here in Abuja, but the story is still developing. Let's see how he's going to come out of this mess that just happened to him.
Now they say people went village, they follow well. This is not Nigerian people. Anyway, we're gonna be looking at that. Mary, you are looking pinky. So today, you've been purple. So we try to change the studio purple. And I know people might be angry because I wanted Edo to be branded the red sword. That's who they are. But let's not waste time. I have a guest with us today. He is by name Good Luck Srtv. When you hear Srtv, you listen at pure Benin man with this one. Pure son of the soil, son of the red soil. He is one of them. He's a member team, the Asway Strategic Campaign Organization, the PDP. Nice. He's right here with us this morning, and he'll be talking us through everything. Mr. Good Luck, let me say a very big welcome to you. Thank you very much for joining us.
And thank you for having me. Good morning. It's a pleasure.
Good morning, Good Luck. Yes, I said that. Yeah, it's nice to connect with you from the red soil. You are a true son of the red soil. You look like one of the red soil. So it's a pleasure to have you this morning.
Thank you.
Yes. So we're going to be looking at, of course, we'll be looking at everything this morning. I mean, when I say everything about the elections, but of course, we're going to look at what your candidate is offering us. But first, let us meet you. What's your position in the campaign? Who is Good Luck Srtv?
Well, just briefly, I'm a member of the Team Asware Strategic Campaign Organization. By extension, I also serve as a member advisory committee in new media for the PDP Campaign Council.
Okay. All right. So that brings you here. So in other words, you'll be able to tell us some of the you'll be able to give us some of the insight into your candidate manifestos, because that will be our interest today. That's one of the areas we want to look at. Wow. So what's your slogan? Is it prosperity for Edo? Because we had a lot of language. What's the slogan, sir? Yeah.
It's pathway to prosperity for all.
Oh, pathway to prosperity for all. That's a good one. All right. Yeah, we're going to make this friendly, but sometimes it might get heated up because we want to see some. Edo, like, and I'm going to say this, and I said it before I added it to the show. I said Edo had been a very, very important state. Had the Benin Kingdom from history. It's a very, very important kingdom in the Nigerian state. Are you guys about to give us a new Nigeria? Because the last time we had, they couldn't form Nigeria because you guys refused to get a new king because your king was still alive. That was the beginning of Nigeria, the day of Barbarian. The other time we had, you guys during the former labor man, you guys came out and defended your vote. And the last time you told us, you proved to the world that Edo is not Lagos. What are you guys about to prove again this time?
All right, Edo is very unique. It's a unique state in all ramifications. If you look at the traditional perspective, we have a rich cultural heritage.
That's true.
We have the most respected monarch in the world. We have a royal father of YY the second now. So Oba Atokpe.
That's how everybody must say Oba Atokpe. Mary, you must join because it's Oba Atokpe. That's how we say it, okay?
I see that I have to remove my cap because that's
it's important. Thank God I'm not wearing one. Yes.
Yes, that's to tell you how much we reverence him. Benin City or Edo State as it is also considered the geographical location. You see that it's in the heart of this country. That is to tell you that whatever happens to Edo State or whatever happens in Edo State has the potential of spreading to other parts of the country.
That's why you guys are the heartbeat of the nation. That's a big you guys are the heartbeat. When the heart stops breathing, the man is gone. So you are the breath of the nation. It's a big word. Yeah, it's a big word. Yeah.
So I also want you to believe that is where we derive our courage from. Edo people, we are men of courage, fearlessness. We are very bold to assert whatever we believe in. And that is why we say that, look, we have the ability to assert our will by ourselves, on ourselves. So nobody can determine for us, especially outsiders, what happens in Edo State. And that was why the influence that the Lagos people, especially Bola Siwaju, is now the president of the country now, the influence he wanted to exert on Edo people in 2020, especially when Governor Baseki then in APC went to beg him for forgiveness, and Oshomole still went ahead to actually disqualify him, just to make it, just to ensure that he did not participate in the election. So Edo people now resolved to say that, look, Edo not be Lagos. Lagos cannot be what happened in Edo State. The pattern of the pattern of leadership you have in Lagos State, where one man decides what happened, he chooses the leader, he changes the governor, and all of that. So we are not going to take that in Edo State. That was why the slogan "Edo not be Lagos" came out, and actually fulfilled it. It was clear to the whole world.
Yes. No, it was loud and clear. I saw the picture, a very wonderful image of Ahmed Tinubu going back to his plane. It was a wonderful plane and do not be Lagos. It was an iconic image. But I don't go forget that one. But don't forget, the man is now president. and it's not perhaps still now the APC boss at the helms of affair. Uh, it's not going to be as easy as before. You must admit, don't you think so? You heard it? Good luck. Did you hear me? Yeah, I think Good luck is having some. Are you
Yeah, I
there, Good
can hear
luck?
you now. I
Yes,
had
I
an
said
issue.
that. Now the man is now at the helms of affairs in Abuja. He's in Aso Rock. It's now more powerful than ever. It's not going to be as easy as it were in 2020. You must admit, huh?
Well, when you say it's not going to be easy, it's like you are telling Edo people it's not going to be easy for them to determine who
No, no, let
governs
me
them.
put it this way.
And
Currently
I
we,
want,
okay, good luck. Let me make it simple. Currently we heard that in one of the newspapers saying that there's a little bit of concern as the security apparatus within the state is about to be changed, and only Abuja can do that. You can understand that.
all right, coming from that perspective, you are looking at it considering the fact that the security apparatus or the apparatus in Nigeria is controlled by the central, that is the
Yes.
presidency, whether the
Yes.
Nigerian police force, the Nigerian army, all of those that are involved in security is being controlled by the presidency. And that is why you are making it look like it will be easier for Tinubu to assert his will as the president on Edo people. But history has it, if you look at it very well, most of the times, Edo State has always been in the opposition to the federal. If you look at it from the days of Goodluck Jonathan and Asali Oshomole, and then we
Yeah.
also look at a whole lot of things. Then in 2020, when Buhari was the president, Governor Baseki of the PDP. So I think what we are trying to portray or trying to say is on the fact that Tinubu, if he's desperate about winning Edo State, he can use the state apparatus to actually ensure he does that. But something is so fundamentally unique about the Edo people, and it is that nobody, no external force can influence their will.
I agree with you completely because I remember. Don't forget, I'm from Delta State, and we were part of the Bender. We were always in the opposition to the federal because we had the Midwest, and even when it came to the First Republic, we had UPN. The federal was then NPN. I'm a child of history. Anyway, so let's talk about your candidates. Your candidate for this election, handsome guy. Yes, very big name. I look at him and I said, Mary, I asked Mary to choose. Mary is choosing him as well. So, and I said to myself, what is it? What is it? What, in fact, you are now part of the campaign. What are you people offering the people of Edo State? That should he become the governor if he wins this election, come Saturday, and he eventually gets sworn in, what are we going to see differently in Edo State?
All right, thank you very much once again. To start with, it is important we understand the personality that is coming to govern Edo State. And as of today, it is not a matter of if, it's a matter of certainty. Aswe Udalo will be sworn in as the next governor of Edo State. Now, I want you to just first of all understand that, look, Nigeria is in a deep economic crisis, serious economic crisis. So we are looking at a situation where you can have a state in the form of a subnational trying to lift itself, trying to get it done even more than the national. So the person of Akre Udalo is the person that is well prepared, is coming with a wealth of experience that spans from private, public, and the corporate sectors. And we have evidence of achievement of what he has been able to do in his life, right from when he finished his school. He went to University of Ibadan, where he bagged BSc Economics, and then he went to London School of Economics and Political Science, where he read law, and then he came back to Nigeria and went to the law school and started practicing law. And from that time, we know what he has achieved. he has been able to build a reputable law firm in Nigeria with his partner from scratch, Femi Olubanwo. So that is where you have the Banwo and Ighodalo, Obafemi Awolowo Way, Ikoyi in Lagos. And the exploits this corporation has been able to do, what it has achieved over the years, where they specialize in, they've done exploits in it. So Answe Ighodalo, personally, he has been the chairman of several boards, chairman of Sterling Bank, chairman of Living Oil, chairman Nigeria Economic Summit Group. He has also been the director of the Nigeria Sovereign Investment Authority. He was also a very strong member of the Okomu. And I must tell you today that Okomu is indigenous company in Nigeria that make the highest profit as a private entity. So, in other words, Answe Ighodalo is coming with a wealth of experience that we most needed now to drive the affair of Edo State in the face of serious economic crisis in Nigeria. So he's better fit for the position, and he's having a running mate, also Barrister Saljo Oge, a very brilliant lawyer from the University of Ife, now Obafemi Awolowo University. So you can see that for him too, he has amassed a lot of experience to himself too, being a commissioner in the days of Naftali Oshomule, and then becoming the chief of staff in the first tenure of Governor Baseki, and now the SSG secretary to the state government, where he has just resigned. You can see that there is nobody in this state today that can boast of the experience that Osajo Oge is bringing to work with Answe Ighodalo with. So that is why you see that the prosperity agenda is a must for Edo State. And this project, as you can see, this pamphlet you are seeing now, this manifesto, is a product of a wide deliberations. We have been on the street of Edo State since late November last year. We are consulting with opinion leaders, community leaders, religious leaders. What are the issues? What do they want? What are the problems? And we have been able to offer how those problems can be solved. And that is what gave birth to this. And I can tell you today that only Answe Ighodalo can boast of being to the 192 wards more than 5 times. First, to consult with them. Secondly, to go and meet them. And then the manifesto came. So you can see that for him too, as of today, election is just this week's next starts today. You can see that he's the only person that can boast of having a manifesto, a written document, to govern Edo State with. So that is where he has distinguished himself severally. He has also contributed to Edo State government and development, being a member of the Oshomole economic team, and also now becoming the chairman of an Alauda Summit group. So he is better prepared for the job.
Thank you very much. Okay. Actually, impressive credentials. I have read a little bit about him. I actually,
that's just yes. A brief.
I can understand, because I'm coming to him. We're gonna rest on him. But let's take a toll down to the man that brought him in, because you will agree with me that he is the choice of your former governor, the sitting governor, the chief himself. The chief is an anointed candidate of this handsome guy who has been an investment banker with all beautiful credentials you can think of. But over the past 8 years, we are yet to see the impact, the economic impact you're talking about from him. Because I personally have an issue. I asked them that Edo State could be a country of its own. Benin Republic is not as big, it's not as rich as Edo State, but they run their own economy. Why is it that the PDP over the past, I'm not going to say the PDP, the APC, PDP, APC, no, it's APC, PDP, over the past 8 years under Obaseki have not really done what is needed? Especially, you are the one that reminded us that the country is in an economic bad state. We need a leader who can run their own affairs. That's one thing I'll be crying. If Nigeria fail, Edo must not fail. If Nigeria refuse to grow their own wealth, Edo can't grow their own wealth. I'm looking at Edo State now. We have the case of NIFO. Let's stick to NIFO. NIFO was one of the most If we had 9-4 today, probably would be better than Malaysia. And Edo has it. They came to Edo State to take the little seed which they used to grow their own economy. But Obaseki didn't look at that. How are we convinced now that he's anointed is going to do that for us?
Okay. All right. First and foremost, there's nothing like anointed.
Okay.
There's nothing like anointed. Aswe Godalo went through the process of primaries and he was duly elected the candidate of the People's Democratic Party. And if you look at the entire process, you cannot tell me where anybody saw Governor Obaseki meeting delegates on his behalf, doing lobbying on his behalf, until the day of the primaries properly. That was the day you saw the National Working Committee of the party came to conduct the primary. That was the only day Obaseki came into the show. As Godalo did his consultation, I can tell you there was a night we went to Ekoma 3 times. What were we doing? So he has consulted wide. He was able to rectify some of the problems within the party by meeting aggrieved leaders and all of that. And that is where you see that there is no rancor anywhere. Having said that, I would like to tell you that, look, for you to measure if a government has done well, what are the indices you use to measure?
That's it.
And I can tell you, before going to that, I will tell you that 9-4 is a federal government-owned institution, not a state-owned institution.
Okay.
So, if 9-4 is poorly managed, it is not the function, or it is not the fault of the state government. It is the fault of the federal government. So now let's look at Edo State as it is, what Governor Obaseki has been able to do. Now, you look at where were we before he came and where we are now.
Yes.
So these are some of the questions we need to answer. For example, it is not a doubt that Edo State IGR has increased by over 140% under Governor Obaseki. In terms of debt management, you look at the civil service. If you want to look at the functionality of a government, you look at the workers, the labor force. Governor Obaseki today has distinguished himself as the best governor in the history of this country since 1999. Let me put it that way. How do I mean? We have the best civil service reform now in Nigeria as it is. And that is a reflection of the reform of the policies that Governor Obaseki has brought in. Don't forget, I just told you that Alan Odaro is a summit group, is a private think tank that advises the government, that criticizes the government on what to do. And as of today, you see that Governor Obaseki was the first governor in Nigeria to increase the minimum wage.
I have to give you that credit.
To 40,000. And he was paying that. And when the calamitous effect of the poorly planned removal of subsidy came up, he now saw that, look, it is no longer possible. And they allowed that summit group advise the governor too. And they get it up to 70,000 naira. You see how the federal government has been dangling, how they've been confusing themselves, trying to deceive the people. And I challenge you today, if there is any other state in this country that pays up to that, then you tell me. Now, Governor Obaseki is the only governor in this country that pays salaries, pensions, and whatever it is, latest 26th of every month. And you consider the economic strength of Edo State. In terms of, you understand what I'm saying now? Yes. So even in terms of, so I'm trying to tell you that he has done very well. Is it in the education sector? You look at the education sector, okay? We have a policy known as Edo Best and Edo Star. Before Governor Obaseki came, Edo State education rating was at 20-something, above 20. Today is in number 2 going to number 1. So that Edo Best policy has been the best education policy in Nigeria since 1999. And more to that, you now have the Edo Star. What is the Edo Star doing? Edo Star focuses on retraining teachers, especially in the localities, where you see that in those days, you have teachers that reside in communities. They teach the pupils or the students, and they have good management. Now you now see teachers trying to go to the capital cities and all of that. So leaving the rural areas abandoned. Yes. So it now brought Edo Star. And I can tell you today, Edo State is where you have teachers using tabloid tabs to teach and all of that. So everything is computerized. Is it in governance? Edo State is the only state that runs digital governance in Nigeria today. Paperless. You don't see paper. Everything is digital. And the governor has been able to put internet facilities to enable this. So if you go to locations in Edo State today, this is not only happening in Benin City. That is how it is in Awuchi, in Uromi, in Ekoma, and that is how it is in Onwan, as the case may be in Nafuze. So for you to say that Governor Obaseki has not done well, I wouldn't know where are you, what your indices are.
Yeah, where my barometers.
Yes, okay, your barometers. Now in agriculture, you know what oil palm has done to Nigeria in the past. That it was the major source of revenue. So other administrations came and they abandoned it. Edo State, as of today, Governor Obaseki has pursued an aggressive revolution in agriculture sector. Today, Edo State is the #1 in terms of oil production in Nigeria. And it did not just enhance that, it now established an institution that focuses on, training students. That's the College of Agriculture in Boriaki, in Ovia Southwest local government. You have a lot of oil palm farms there. You have expatriates and investors have been attracted to Edo State. You have Okomu, you have Presco, you have Saro Oil, and all of that. So these are so many policies, because it is not just enough for you to say make policies. Are they working? What are the benefits of those policies? So these are the things Governor Obaseki has been able to achieve. And Answe Ighodalo is coming to actually build on that, because he has been part of the government since the days of Adam Saliu Oshomole, rendering economic advice or services, and he became the chairman for Ala Ighodalo. You can see that he's someone who understands the state, how the state works. And as of today, I can tell you, Edo State is the only state that has 2 functional modular refineries in this country. 2 modular refineries. You have, yes, 2. You have one at Ologbo. You have another one at around Oriomo, in Oriomo local government. So, and at the end of it, a lot of investment, a lot of policies have come to play. If you go to Ronigbe in Oriomo local government, you have the rubber plantation, a very large hectare, that will start production early next year or before the end of this year. So he has done a lot. And you know that today in Owaoka, we have ethanol processing facilities. You know what that means? That ethanol is being produced from cassava. You know what that means? It means that those farmers rearing or cultivating cassava, they now make money. They also fry cassava, then they produce ethanol. You can imagine a lot of economic activities going on there. So these are some of the ways Governor Obaseki have been able to responsibly increase the IGR of his state. And in the midst of this moribund economic system we have in Nigeria, he's been able to meet up to expectations in terms of paying salaries of workers, pensioners, and appointees. So he has actually done well. And that is where Answe Ighodalo is going to start from. I can tell you today now, if there is a security powerhouse in Edo State, in GRA. The day I got there, I could see, I don't know how much you understand Benin, I could see as far as Oluku. Oluku is close to the toll gate, like the borderline. We are going to Lagos. Then I could see Oluku from that place. I could see Ikobahi. A whole lot of things. This governor has actually done a whole lot of things. The problem is this. It doesn't like a situation whereby you use taxpayers' money to commission and implement a project, and you still pay taxpayers' money to rent bands and all of that to go and be drumming for commissioning. So that is just his policy. He has actually done well. And Answe Ighodalo, as he's coming, he understands the vision, he understands the mission, is the only one that can actually take us to the next level. And you know what Nigeria is saying now? I must tell you that if we don't allow him to take us through this pathway to prosperity, it will be a problem for us, because he has highlighted the issues, what is coming to do. What is coming to do for the people of Edo State, how he is going to do it. And he's the only candidate among the major political parties, or the supposed major political party opposition. He's the only candidate that is talking to the people, telling them this is what I want to do, this is how I'm going to do it, and he's the only person that has submitted himself and the running mate to questioning. No, it was in Nuremberg, it was in Hamburg, in Germany, he was in Radio Emilia in Italy, he went to London, he went to Manchester, he went to the US, Atlanta, you saw him in Houston, Texas, and you saw him in New York. So he had carried out extensive consultation with Edo people across board, that this is what I want to do, this I'm going to do them, and with his pedigree, with what we know he has done before, we are not very much convinced that he can do it. So he has highlighted how he's going to do it. This is Asue Ighodalo, that a man that has integrity, that has achieved a lot for himself, evidently, a lot he has done. So he's the best person to actually govern Edo State at this moment in time. Others, I don't know what is the problem, what the problem is. They are not talking to the people. You can see a situation where a television station is almost declaring a candidate wanted on air just to come and talk to Edo people. He doesn't want to talk to Edo people. He cannot identify himself. He cannot even tell Edo people what he's going to do. He cannot tell us what he has done in his life. So these are the fundamental questions. If we are serious as a people, we must be able to be serious with the fundamental issues. What are the fundamental issues? Those that want to govern us, let us ask them, where are you coming from? What have you done before? How did you do it? What were the results? These are the questions Asue Ighodalo has, in fact, conveniently answered for all to see. So these are the issues we are talking about. Even the other one, a supposed lawyer that has spent nearly 30 years or over 30 years in the bar and is running with a senior advocate of Nigeria, none of them has been able to come out with a one-page document on how they can govern Edo State. All they do is to denigrate Asue Ighodalo, is to curse him and all of that, to allege him. And I'm aware, I'm very sure you are aware that just yesterday, someone has been slammed with a 20 billion naira suit for maliciously, for the malicious engagement he had against Asue Ighodalo on a national TV. So there is no other candidate, whether they are associates or their supporters, there is none of them that is telling Edo State people what their candidate will do, how he's going to do it, what Edo people stands to benefit from them. So none of them. It is only Asue Ighodalo that is doing that. And this prosperity for all has 5 main pillars.
Good.
These 5 main pillars, you see them. We have, number 1, security, law, and order. We have well-being of all of our people. Then we have growing our economy, and then you have environment, then good governance. Now, in order of importance, though all of them are very important, but the key, the priority of it all is the security. Because if you are able to secure your state, investors will come. The people can live when they have that confidence that they are able to carry out their daily activities, whether farming or business or social life. They have that confidence. Business activities will boom, and that will increase the economic base. So the investors will now also come from outside, which is what Governor Basaki has done over the years. That is what the Allow Down Summit Group has been able to attract to Edo State. So these are the things. And then you have the well-being for our people. We have outlined some of these things to actually move Edo State forward. And by the grace of God Almighty, by the will of Edo people, Asue Ighodalo will be elected the next governor of Edo State, and Osarojo Oge as the deputy, because they are the only people that have a clear blueprint to actually move Edo State forward.
Thank you very much. In fact, I am listening to you. I'm even scared to interrupt you because I can see the way you flow, your delivery. If I'll be casting for a film, I'll be taking you for my role. But now let's get this straight. The question I ask myself is, why is a young man like this one not on the ticket? I'm going to leave that for another day. All right. I know you are here for your candidate, so you're not here to sing your own trumpet, and I wouldn't let them take it on you. But if I will be looking for a candidate for Edo State, I'll be asking Edo people, why not a young man like this? And that brought me the issue of what happened during the last election. During the last election, Edo people came out en masse and voted for Peter Obi. And that's still on record. So Peter won Edo State. But for some reason, the governor who has done well, I have to respect some of the things you've told us about Obaseki are alien to many because he doesn't really think he doesn't know how to go and commission. Or like we see in Delta State, they always cutting red tapes. He's not that kind of governor. But so he has done well, and I'm really going to say yes. But the pattern, which is where we're going to zero this broadcast at the end of the day, is the economy of Edo State. All right, it's very important that we're talking about insecurity. It still borders on economy. People will not be able to sleep in their homes if some people are hungry. There's a saying in what they say, why the rich the poor are hungry so they can't go to bed, so they are on the streets. Now the rich man is afraid to come back because the problem, he's out there, he's not sleeping. So the insecurity is because 90% because of the economic challenges we're facing as a people. And perhaps if from day one in the history of this world, from Bible creation, from the day God created us till now, one important thing is when people are poor, crime will always come to stay. And if I were to be running for a governor, that would be my number one agenda. So I'm going to look at that with you critically. And I'm going to say it and I'm going to ask it again. What is your governor, your candidate's plan? Aswerime, I like that word. Let me pronounce it correctly. Aswerime, you understand? Igodalu, gonna do to raise the economy of Edo State. You are right. There are some of the projects we are governors, which is federal government, and but you do agree with me that Edo is strategically located. It has the best of the mineral. In agriculture, I can tell you that Edo is still the best. I remember personally, I came to Edo State far back in 1996, 1997, and I was taking wood to sell in Belgium. I was all around the sawmill there, and that is the kind of things you can't get anywhere in the country so easily. They are in Edo State, you understand? So many things, and you've been able to talk about the 9-4. If the federal government chooses to go away with what they have, Edo should be able to raise. I was going to ask you a very difficult question, which you might not be able to have the figures with you because you were asking me the barometer. I wanted to ask, all this money Obaseki has spent, where does it come from? And another simple way is, how much is Edo State generating on an annually level that is adding to the GDP? Because only oil money, we know, my brother, is not enough to run the affairs of our country, especially a state like Edo. So let me make it simple. What is the governor plan to raise the economy of Edo State? Obaseki has done his own bit. Let's look at him now. Let's focus on him to the next level.
All right. Thank you very much once again. To start with, I will let you know that both the IGR and the federal allocation of Edo State monthly is not up to 15 billion. And by the time you pay workers' salaries, then pensioners, then gratuity, which they just started to, and then appointees, you discover that we'll be struggling with not less than or nearly 7 billion naira. So is that, as of today, a C4 road, 1 kilometer is 1 billion naira to construct a C4 road. Now, that is where you are going to give Governor Obaseki the credit, because he has been able to focus on other areas, such as agriculture. We are earning money from agriculture today, like rightly said. That's kudos to him. Then the area of ICT. Then the area of tourism too. As of today, we have the Victor Wifo Creative Hub that struck a partnership with the Nollywood or the Rock TV. They are producing movies there. Now, what you used to know as the Nigerian Observer that looked like a small kiosk, if you go there now, it's an enterprise on its own. It's just like when you have the CNN in Atlanta or in New York. So when you go to the Nigerian Observer now, you see that you have the Victor Wifo Creative Hub where they act movies. If you have script, you want to act and everything, you go there. Then you also have the printing press section, digital, everything digital. Then you now have the Observer. Observer is now being able to run on its own, doing digital printing, and then you also have the industrial scale printing aspect of it. You know, that is being regulated. Those are the indicators that have enabled Edo State economy to get boosted. And also, Obaseki is a prudent manager of money. I think that is where you have problems with some political leaders, those that believe in stomach
that. Yes, those people that say they didn't carry them along.
So those people that believe that the money should go into their pocket, and the man is saying that no, if we do this, the state cannot move forward. So Obaseki combined what? Ability to create wealth, an ability to manage it, and effective management of those wealth. And that is what has led us to what you are seeing today in Edo State. And let me tell you, the truth is that, you know, the federal government on its part has actually failed. All we needed them to do for Edo State are their roads. Let them do roads for us. They abandoned those roads. And what Governor Obaseki did was to say, okay, since because of politics or whatever reason, the federal government, they've abandoned the road, let me look for alternative roads. Let me create alternative road. Is it to rehabilitate the existing one or to create another one to link the three senatorial districts? And that is why you see that I don't know how much you understand Benin. If you want there, the boundary between Uhunde and Esan West local government, you see a road now, newly constructed road from Edo South that link you into Ogwa. From Ogwa to Ekoma, that is you enter the Esan land. Then you go to the Edo North too. The Sobe Sabogida Ora Road has actually linked that Edo North part. So these are the product of creative thinking and effective wealth creation and management. So Governor Obaseki has actually done that. Then when you are talking of economy, I don't need to tell you who Asue Ighodalo is. One of his areas of specialty or specialization is corporate financing. He has sourced finances for corporates. And that is why you see that all he has ever achieved is as a result of people coming to meet him and say, look, come and be chairman of this, come and be our chairman of this, come and be our, because of his ability to actually create, to source for finance. And there is the credibility, integrity to manage it. Because what investors are mostly afraid of is that if I invest here, do I have a return? How do I get my money back? Is it safe? That is what he has been able to do for himself. And I'll just give you one example. When the European bodies, they were trying to return some of the Abacha's loots, and they specifically mentioned that this money will be used for certain projects.
Yes.
Certain projects. So it was almost like a debate. Why would you tell us how to use our money or what to use it for? So they said that, look, if they don't use this money very well, within the next month, this money will pull back.
We'll come back here. Agree.
Yes. So that was how that the Nigeria Sovereign Investment Authority, that was how Asue Ighodalo was made the director of the Nigeria Sovereign Authority, Sovereign Investment Authority, that completed the second Niger bridge, and they built hospitals and cancer centers and so many other things. So the integrity from public service is there. The effective management is there. Accountability is there too. So all of these things combined together, we are going to, he has told us that, look, say for example, Edo State has about 5 entry points. It is only when you are coming from Lagos to Sokoto that you will not pass through part of Edo State. It means that almost everybody, if you want to go across the country, you pass through Edo State. Why don't we have what is called logistic economy, where we can have parks? Look for PPP or look for money or through concession. Let us build these parks, because those trailers plying that road that are spending up to a month or a week there, they'll be ready to pay the money if the roads and the parks are built properly for them. So this is corporate financing, and how you're going to take the debt if there is need for it, how you are going to manage them. These are the areas of expertise of Asue Ighodalo, and we have seen him doing this before. He has achieved them. So there are a lot of other areas that we can focus on, like in tourism. The most important thing is security. If a state is secure, people can travel from overseas, just like the museum in London. If you go to the museum in London, you are going to pay money, your transportation down there. When you get there, maybe you drink water, you pay money to view and all of that. So why can't we have that in those states? You know, so people can have that. So these are the indicators of economy. Since the federal cannot help us, The federal government, Abuja cannot help any state in this country, whether you like it or not. So
No,
it
they
is
cannot.
now so it is now late for state to have focused leaders or leadership that will be able to look at inward. They look inward. What do we have? How do we harness them for the betterment of Edo State or of his people? And you know what Ighodalo is proposing? By peer pressure, you can also pull out some other state, neighboring states, through partnership. Delta State is very close to us. Ondo, if they are interested, other states. So through peer pressure, other states can be pulled along, and that is the only way we can develop this country. After all, it was when we had a regional system of government that Nigeria had the best level of development. So we have to now refocus our attention on what we have, how to harness them, and how to manage them to generate funds, to generate economy, to be able to focus on other areas of governance outside the federal government allocation.
Yes.
Basically, it is oil the Nigerian government depends on. There is crisis of oil now. You can see that the country that has a refinery, a refinery that is not producing 1 liter of fuel, it has full staff that is being paid every month. So how do you measure that? And now you see that some of the bad policies of the Tinubu-led federal government, the APC-led federal government, the planned removal of subsidy, there was nothing planned for the citizen. You can see that how much have they been able to save? Where did they keep the money? Where is the money? Can they account for it? Instead, what we see is that they are renovating a new lodge for the vice president. The president himself is exchanging jets, is buying yachts. The National Assembly, they are just enriching themselves, and you are leaving the people in massive, in fact, multidimensional poverty, so to say. So we have to look at somebody within Edo State or within each state. It's a challenge. So the only person that can do that to continue from where Governor Obaseki stopped and take it to the next level is Aswe Ighodalo and Srtv Oge.
Well, I don't know this one, but this young man here, good luck. If I be girl, I for don't fall for assist. So I'm very scared of you. You see, I'm worried. But I don't know about the Aswe Ighodalo. There's one of my friends that said, I don't know about Jesus, but I believe in my pastor. So that's what I'm seeing here now. You understand? So, well, I want to say this. Thank you. You are good.
Quickly,
and you're talking from point of knowledge. Go on.
Quickly, let me say this. One of the strengths of Aswe Ighodalo is that he seeks young men and women, youths, groom them, train them, and make them become what they are supposed to be. The average age of those working with him now, his cabinet, is about 30-something. You have 20-something, you have 30-something. Now he's the oldest person in our team. And if you look at his law firm too, the oldest person there is just in his early 50s. You get what I'm saying now? So he believes in the youth, and you can't be with him and not learn. Most of the time, when I'm with him, I don't talk. You know why? I am learning. You cannot spend 2 hours or 30 minutes with Aswe Ighodalo and not learn 1 or 2 things productively. I'm not talking of just learning jokes and all of that. No. You must learn 1 or 2 things. So I myself, I have gained a lot of things from him to be able to position myself, to be able to speak, to be able to know what it is to have a better governed society or a state as it is. No, he's a leader. So those of us that are under him, we're also learning very fast. And I hope that in the next 4 to 8 years, we would have learned more to be able to stand our ground too.
Well, I gotta give him credit for that, because you see, at the end of the day, I'm sure Mary is smiling. We're all happy in the studio to have you, and we're not happy to just see a handsome man. We're happy to hear what is coming out from your mouth. But now, this is it. I want to differentiate some things here, because sometimes we find it a little bit difficult to know, to have these political parties with their different manifestos or their strategy. And I'm going to tie this economic policy to 2 small areas. You told us how Obaseki operated. He has maybe created an enabling environment. That's what the politicians like to say in Nigeria, for this to actually happen. And sometimes in my book, if things are not happening enough, why is the governor not actually, or the government not actually participating to make it grow to the level they want to? I'll put it simple. All right. Currently, I am of the big fan that I'm happy Akwa Ibom have an airline today. I'm looking forward to Edo Airline because it's a lucrative business. I'm looking forward to Edo Farm. And what the government is going to tell me is, oh, I've made Edo people to have a farm. No, the question I ask is, yes, you've inspired them to have a farm. What is wrong with the government or the governor, or the government actually, working maybe in partnership with our universities and the locals to create the farm network that we need? Because if the governor comes in, I think, or if the government is really directly involved, the government will make money, which will contribute to the GDP. The universities will, in fact, be making money, not depending on anybody to do what they do. And then the people will be empowered. Let me give this little network. And sometimes we don't see the government actually participating. That is where I am a little bit confused with all the good things Obaseki have done. The impact on the overall economy of Edo State might not be clear to indigenous, like to people, to outsiders like us. Now you have it clearer. I'm saying that supposing Edo have a farm, call Edo Farm, and they're now saying, okay, you, the university, create this, every little thing we're going to plant. You are the educational people, create the seed that we're going to go and plant. And you involve local people, okay, come and buy this seed. You don't need to buy it now, give to you, I plant in your farm, and you grow the farm until it grows, then we share profit. I'm saying now that there is the government working with the university, the power knowledge house, and the people to grow the economy of the people and that of the government. But most of the time, in terms of economic policy, the government will say, oh, we are creating an enabling environment. We're creating roads. We are making policies for this to happen. And we don't see the impact. Today, Edo State people still go to bed without food. You will agree with me that if we have this really in place, there won't be shortage of food in Edo State, but we still have it. I know insecurity is one of them. My question is, what is the economic policy? How is Ighodalo going to really help to solve this wealth creation in Edo State? Is he going to be directly involved, or is he going to create an enabling environment like they always speak to us?
Okay, thank you very much for this. Again, you see, wealth creation, wealth management, and wealth distribution, they are different things. But you must find a synergy to manage all of this. So, what are the issues? Creating an enabling environment. After all, the government cannot employ everybody.
Yes.
Everybody cannot be employee. Everybody cannot be civil servants.
Yes.
There's this sector that should be doing businesses. There's this sector that should be rendering services. So, what those that want to carry out businesses, what is the environment you are creating for them? In terms of loans, because Ighodalo has highlighted what it's going to do about the economy. Growing the economy, it focuses on infrastructure, key sectors, and inclusive growth. For example, it's going to, delivering 2,000 kilometers of roads, invest in erosion control, mini independent power plants, then complete the Benin port, complete the Benin Enterprise Park, explore economic opportunities along Ilushin and Agenibode. Now, what all of this translates into is that the government should create that enabling environment for investors to come. And when investors come, they invest. They are going to pay tax to the government. They are going to employ people. They are going to be rendering services and all of that. And then again, you must create an institution. That is where we are getting it wrong. If we had an institution to, because sometimes, somehow, if you have an economic strong, or maybe there's an economic crisis, if you have an institution, say for example now, if Nigeria is refining crude, if they are refining oil, we will not be where we are today.
Thank you.
Because we don't refine oil. We are taking it abroad. We spend money to take it abroad. We spend money to refine. We spend money to bring it back.
Thank you.
What Governor Obaseki has done in terms of agriculture, as of today, just 2 weeks ago, we went to Agenibode. Agenibode is in ESAC or East Local Government. He went to establish a groundbreaking ceremony of College of Fishery Marine Studies. And why was that there? He's taking advantage of the River Niger and the Illusion River, you know, to go into marine, this blue, what's it called? Blue, is it blue economy they call it and all of that.
Yes.
So you have to be responsible enough. You have to look at the opportunity and the cooperative advantages the state has to be able to establish some policies that will be able to drive economic growth. These are some of the things. Say, for example, we all know the importance of roads to economy. Edo State alone, the trunk of vehicles or transportation activities that happens across Edo State alone, if you have a responsible government, it will be able to look at, oh, how better can I make these roads? What are the economic activities? How can I enhance it? So these are the indicators. And then you know, finance is a major source of problem in Nigerian governance, finance. Because if you ask that, they will tell you that, oh, the oil crisis has hit Nigeria and all of that, there's no much money. But how do you know? Whereas, like you said, states are endowed with potentials that you only need a responsible leadership that loves the people, that is compassionate enough, that will say, look, I don't want my people to suffer. How do I provide solution to it? So when government create that enabling environment, first, investors will come. Those indigenous people that also want to do business or render service, they will be able to do it. And that also boils down on the security, how secure the state is. And of course, you know, again, there's another limitation. Because of the system of government we run in Nigeria, federal government tends to dictate virtually everything. Say, for example, now, the major problem in Nigeria is the fuel price. Anytime you increase the fuel price, I'm talking about the PMS, you know that is going to have massive effect on other sectors. And that is what we are dealing with in Nigeria now. If we can have a situation to say, look, let us be able to refine. You can see the debacle between the federal government and Dangote now. The only indigenous refinery that has come up to say, let me refine fuel in Nigeria. So you can have a lot of policies. The issue of hunger in Nigeria is so monumental. You know, the multidimensionally poor, in fact, the hunger is just too much in this country. And these are the policies of the federal government. Say, for example, now, Edo State as it is, the removal of that subsidy alone has further made a lot of people to be poor in this country. You can see the price of fuel, removal of subsidy from the forest, and all of that foreign exchange, because virtually everything we do in this country, you need machinery, and that will mean that you need a reasonable forest exchange rate. But that is not happening. But how has the Edo State responded? For example, Edo State government is the only state in Nigeria that since the removal of subsidy, that the free transportation across the 3 senatorial districts is still existing up to this moment. It is only Edo State. As I'm talking to you now, it is only Edo State that said that, look, see the removal of subsidy, even the 40,000 minimum wage, the highest we are paying, is still not enough. Let us increase it to 70,000. So that I think that is how government thinks. And the government is paying this without putting the state in debt. It's been able to meet up to its obligation. So if the federal government is serious, there is little the state or more they can do, and it's going to be easy for them. So economy is the bedrock of whatever it is. Just as you need political will or political power to assert the economic power and policies as the case may be. So it borders also on, since the federal level has failed, what can the state now do for themselves? And that is where Governor Bassi has distinguished itself now. There is no state in this country that can boast of what he has done. 2 modular refineries, what is that going to do? Ethanol refinery, you can also call it refineries. Yes. And you also have the biggest importer, the largest importer of ethanol in Nigeria now, Nosavik, is building another ethanol refinery somewhere in Orion local government. So basically, or ideally, what Governor Bassi has done is not something you can see the full effect now. In the nearest future, say 5 to 8 or 10 years time, you begin to see what he has done, the foundation he has laid. You know, and for example now, Edo State has a Chinese village. in the Obaoka local government. What does that do? Most of the ceramics, those building materials, they are producing it there. That alone has given employment to the indigenous people and has also reduced the cost of importing tiles or building materials from outside the country. You don't need forests to do that. So that's exactly what he has been able to achieve. And then again, there's a company making noodles, Dufil. Dufil, as we speak today, has an expansive large hectares of land at Odigi in Ovia Northeast. What are they doing? They want to focus on cassava because cassava is one of the major sources of making that noodles. So they are there working there. It's life there. They are there. So after some times now, you know, for company, proximity to raw materials is a factor. They can assess it and look, we are comfortable here. Let us just live where we are. And then they come. I had an interaction with our Commissioner of Agriculture, Honorable De Henry. He told me the seedling, what they are doing in Agric Hub. We have Agric Hub now in Edo State. All these improved seedlings, like they are pest resistance, weather resistance, and all of that, they are producing them there. There's a lot of activities going on there. It is now late for the people to take advantage of it, and there must also be trust because people have lost trust for the government. That is where the problem lies, actually. And that is why you see that investors do not also want to come. So what we are doing in Edo State is, Governor Obaseki has this 30-year plan for Edo State. You know, we don't want those that do not even know themselves, that cannot even express themselves, that don't know what it means to sign papers, they don't even know A from B, to come and destroy them on the basis of stark illiteracy, and they bring in lions and tigers to destroy the gains we've made so far. That is why this election is almost becoming, it's a battle between light and darkness. You know, like we rightly said, and Edo people, they are ready to ensure that they protect their future, and the future is AI.
All right. Listen, you're very good. You're good. Let's take one thing. You mentioned the word. I'm going to take it one by one. You talk about the comparative advantage. I like what I'm hearing, and I'm saying this with all sincerity. But let's talk about the comparative advantage. Edo have people. Let me use the word. If you go around Europe currently, around the US, in Canada, we have Edo indigenes who I know will be more than happy to dip hand in their pocket to do certain things for the state. I had a show here where I was actually crying to people in diaspora. Why do you people always send money home? The best thing to do for people at home is to invest at home. All right? I don't believe in sending 2 naira to a family every month. If you want to help your family, set up something, let that person manage it, and the person will be making money for you. You're not here in Europe forever. You understand? So that relationship can be established. And exactly what I'll be asking the government now. If the government have this pool of resources outside the country, let me put it this way, what will your government or the government of Ighodalo do to encourage Edo indigenes not to send money home, but to come and invest at home? I put an example, for instance, in the UK or in most part of the world, we buy house on mortgage. All right? And I do know that anybody abroad will want to have a home. And when you have a home, then you want to go home. If you have a house, then you want to go home. There's a difference between a house and a home. So perhaps most of us can't even go home because we don't have a house. Parents are gone, we don't have a house. So, and for instance, if the Edo State government is saying, okay, you know what, I'm going to set up a scheme, a housing scheme, which will create jobs for people at home. Thank God the ceramics there now, the structure is now in Edo State. And they begin to build this structure and say, hey, indigenous of Edo State, because you don't tell people to come and invest with mad. You entice them. Come and buy a house here. You can pay by slowly. The same way you're paying in Europe, you'll be paying for your home at home. You understand? And once they commit to that, then they will come home on holiday to come and see. And when they are there, they might see 1 or 2 small business they will do with their family. And you see jobs being created. And they're coming home now with their money. What is your government going to do? Or what will the government of Ighodalo do to really tap on the resources of Edo people? I just give an instance abroad.
Okay. Thank you very much. You know, it takes a responsible candidate or someone who wants to govern a state to take the advantage of what Edo in diaspora offer. I'm telling you this.
Yes.
And Edo people in diaspora, they are so concerned about the estate. And I can tell you today, one of the driving force or one of the major survival scheme in Edo State today is the diaspora. So, Aswe Udalo, because they are the ones that send money home for people to survive. They send money to Jumbo for just sometimes to pay school fees and sometimes to eat. But that investment aspect is not there. And which is why Aswe Udalo has talked about diaspora's remittance. You know, there's a huge amount of money.
Of course, there. I know.
So,
it's a big business.
So yes,
get rid of Western Union now. Yeah, thank you for that.
Okay, okay. Now you want to look at how you can tap into it, but before you tap into it, two things are fundamental. One, security. Most people don't come home as they used to because they are not secure. This pocket of kidnappings and all of that, insecurity, fight and all of that has actually scared a lot of people away. You remember those days in the 90s where those of us or those people that have brothers and sisters overseas, when they are coming, it's like a carnival. But today, you cannot have them because either they are kidnapped or maybe the reckless exchange rate in Nigeria, if you bring $200 to this country now, it almost amounts to nothing because the money has no value, you know. And then again, there is this aspect of trust problem. Because with the situation of Nigeria now, you can send money to your brother or your sister at home to even build a house for you. It will eat the money.
That's what I'm saying. So that's why I talk of the housing scheme. Yes.
That was why I mentioned the housing scheme. So what Ighodalo has planned or what he has proposed is that there's going to be a housing scheme, like you rightly said, where government can actually have a working housing scheme, build for the people, send money, because it's a matter of trust. Because you cannot send your money to someone you do not trust. If you can run government with trust, accountability, with integrity, someone like you abroad, if a government has a scheme, you can send money home. You know, you can get a home.
We're looking for that.
Without necessarily going through your relatives and all of that, and because of trust issue. Now, you can also send money not only for junior to pay school fees, not for grandma to eat, and then you can say, look, let me invest because the state is now secure. You know, and then again, tourism is another aspect. You know, this December period and all of that, people tend to come to Edo State, and when they come with money, they buy goods, they service all relatives and all of that. That is what is meant by cash flow. You know, you give to this, you render service, the other one buy, you pay for service and all of that. So there is money in the economy. So the whole of that money, if they can bring it to Edo State, and when they see that the state is conducive and the environment is conducive enough, you can say that, oh, instead of me coming to Edo State just twice in a year, I can actually go there and spend 1 or 2 months. I can spend 2 weeks. And by the time you spend those time, you'll be able to see the potential the state offers. And you can say, okay, why don't I just make a little investment in this area? And then, you know, gradually you'll be driving home as it's supposed to be. So Ighodalo has an extensive program. And that is why it took time to go to meet them, himself and his running mates, to say, look, this is the program I have for you people. And I can tell you, as of today, a lot of Edo in diaspora, they are coming to Edo State. They're already in Benin City. Most of them have come. A lot of them, I know many of them, they've arrived at Edo State. They want to come and vote because they are well convinced of what Ighodalo told them. Many that cannot come, they are mobilizing aggressively. There are people, some of them, they are even buying them food now on behalf of Ighodalo to say that, look, choose the right candidate. Choose the best candidate. Ighodalo is the best candidate that can give you economic prosperity. Don't believe those that believe that they don't want to talk to you, but at the same time they want to govern you. Don't listen to them. They are coming to destroy this state. And you know, a state like Edo that is politically fragile, if in this phase of economic crisis orchestrated by the APC-led federal government, Edo State cannot pay workers, they cannot pay salaries. Do you know the implication of that? The crime rate will increase, the rate of hunger will increase, and everything. So that is why those in diaspora, they seem to even believe more in Aswe Udalo than some of us here at all, because they see clearly what it is to have a better governed society, and that is why they are supporting Aswe Udalo. And by the grace of God Almighty, Ighodalo will not disappoint them, because when you look at the background of a person, what he has done, where he's coming from, how he has done it, what has he achieved about it, they will be able to say, yes, this man Aswe Udalo and his running mate, they are the best Edo State will ever have at this point in time.
Thank you very much. We're gonna go. You see, I have more few questions with this fine brother.
We are ready.
Yes.
We are not tired.
I'm going to go on a quick break and we'll be right back. Don't go away. But I don't know if I'm the only one that is just excited. I'm getting into the rhythm. I'm beginning to love the campaign. And to be honest, this is what, and that's what I've been looking for. I've been looking forward to a debate between the candidates. We'll be talking about all that later. Because from the look of things, it's like some of the candidates are not really coming out. And if you're not coming out to tell us now, you're going to behave like Tinubu tomorrow. I have what to say. No, say it now. We want to hear. Yeah? God created the world with words of mouth. Say it, and it will come to pass. Let's go on a quick break. We'll be right back. Don't go away.
All right.
Find your sanctuary in the heart of the city. Live the life you deserve in an exquisite apartment. Srtv Luxury Shortlet Apartment, Lagos, is a place where your comfort is rest assured. Welcome to Srtv Shortlet Apartment, part of the prestigious Srtv Real Estate family. Why choose us? Prime location, nestled in the heart of Lagos, close to key attractions, business hubs, and vibrant nightlife. Modern interiors, fully furnished, stylish apartments designed to provide the ultimate comfort. Luxury redefined, vacation perfected. 24/7 security. Enjoy peace of mind with round-the-clock security and CCTV surveillance. Top-notch amenities, high-speed Wi-Fi, smart TV, air conditioning, fully equipped kitchen, and lots more. Perfect for business travelers, family vacations, romantic getaways, special events, and more. Book your stay today and experience Lagos like never before. Call +234 8143 582856 or +447 4388 93190, or email us at realestate@superiorradiotelevision.com. Srtv Shortlet Apartment, where comfort meets luxury.
All right, welcome back. This is a special broadcast on a countdown to Edo 2024, and I'm right here with Good Luck Srtv. He's been rocking the floor really with the beautiful manifestos of his candidate, the PDP governorship aspirant, the person of Aswe Ighodalo. I'm impressed so far. You know, I was having a little bit of issue with Obaseki. But Obaseki, sometimes you really don't talk a lot, but you've done quite much. Perhaps the difference is the direct involvement of the state to create confidence. Sometimes we say, let us invest. There's we call the family unit. A family cannot be poor. No family can be poor in Nigeria. I've been saying it, that there's no family that will be poor if they come together to do things. But by the time we do, one is trying to do this, one is doing this, one is doing this, it becomes like the broom. You can break a stick, but if they come together, you can't break sticks. You understand? You can't break sticks. And that is exactly the one of the challenges we'll be facing as a people. The intentions are sometimes good. People are trying in their own small way to invest here and here, but it's not coordinated. And nobody can help us coordinate this better than the government of the day. Let me take you a little bit back, young man, to the days of Nigeria. When Nigeria was Nigeria, we have the Nigerian Airways. You understand? This is a corporation run by the government of Nigeria to make money for Nigeria. We have the Nigerian shipping line. in those days when the chips, and that's where Buhari himself started his first appointment under the then Obasanjo regime. So we had a lot that the corporations which Nigeria did then. There were so many. We have the NNPC. And all these things, you did mention that if Nigeria was still manufacturing, now Dangote is going to go into this as a businessman. But if Nigeria would do it, the price will be a little bit less because the interest in profit will marry the need of the people to serve the people. But if I'm going into business myself, it will be me trying to make money for myself and my family. You understand? But if the government is doing it, government will marry profit making with the social responsibility, which is really some of the things that we have today. So I'm going to put this to you now, that the money coming from oil is not been enough. It's not going to be enough for Egodao to run all the projects, all the plans he had. So I'm going to put it this way. What is the plan for this government, for the next PDP government, to generate money in order to be able to meet the demands of the people? Because you're going to solve security, it's going to come from money. Anything you do will be money. How is he planning to raise money other than the small one coming? Because the one coming from there is not enough. Like you rightly said, you pay salaries of workers and all that, the money is gone. So how is he planning to raise money within the state so that he can make Edo State be like a country of its own? I'm of the belief that Edo State could be a country, Delta State could be a country. There are some countries, in fact, the GDP of Lagos is higher than that of Kenya. And I'm sure Edo State money making of the potential is big. It must be better than Cotonou and some other countries put together. So there will be no excuse that we cannot raise money. What is his plan to raise money on his own should he become the governor?
All right. Thank you very much once again. It is a fact. Even Satan knows. The king of deception knows, or the king of lie knows, that Abuja cannot help any states.
Thank you.
That is to say that the federal allocation cannot help any states.
Thank you.
And that is why we are saying that, as we go down, is saying that, look, we can have a subnational within the national that can be more developed
than the national.
And you just mentioned Delta State. So that is to say that by peer pressure, other states can be pulled along.
Yes.
So you know that Ighodalo has this expertise in corporate financing to source for finance. That is not a problem for him. We look at what we are generating, what is coming from the federal government. How do we now increase or improve our own internally generated revenue for governance? To be honest, I just told you that if you take away pension, salaries, appointee salary, and all of that from what is coming from the combined federal government allocation and the IGR, you will left with nothing to fight for.
I agree.
And for a man who is coming from the Nigeria Breweries, for example, what Nigeria Breweries makes in a month is almost equal or more than what Edo State's IGR and federal allocation combined. So you can see that the man painstakingly came to wanted to govern Edo State. And what that means that he left his comfort zone to bring his expertise. What are we going to focus on? For example, first we must address the issue of infrastructure. We are talking of economic indicators or economic boosters. There must be infrastructure. If you are doing business, there must be road or infrastructure for you to be able to do that. If there is no infrastructure, you cannot. Just imagine alone that Benin Aunchi Expressway is in a good shape. Do you know that that road cuts from Edo South across Edo Central and through Edo North? There are some other villages. There are some other villages that, if that road is in good shape, that can benefit. They take their goods to the market, and that is going to reduce the price of transportation. A whole lot of things centers on infrastructure. Then you also look at what's it called, key sectors. What are these key sectors? You have production. That means, for example, you can increase access to land and seedlings, and we are going to launch Made in Edo food programs. Then you have talent. You have tourism. These are some other important parts that we want to focus on. For example, you know what the Buckingham Palace is?
Good luck. Again,
Yes.
you're telling me now, we're going back to expenditure. All right. I really want to, I want to tie it down here. I want to know, because you said something very, very important, that the federal government, the money coming is not enough. With the small one that we are generating, is not enough. So if you're going to spend this money again, after this on infrastructure, you're going to be down. That's a clear. At the stage, there must be need to marry the raising money yourself and not borrowing, and to cover the cost of what you need to do. The money coming is not enough. The little one we're generating, we don't want to be borrowing again. So my question is, what is his plan to raise money? I mean, in terms of, yes, let's raise money.
That's what I'm just telling you now.
Okay. All right.
Because raising money involves a whole lot of things. You have to start with yourself.
Yes.
You want to raise money. Part of it is that you want to borrow if you don't have enough. But the little one you have, how are you going to use it? Then, in the process of borrowing, then you must focus on what you can do. And that involves policy. You are going to be making policies. For example, I just told you now that if you can make your infrastructure to be good, for example, that alone will make our farmers, we are rich in cocoa, we are rich in production of cashew. If you go, there are several things we can do. You know, if the roads are motorable, they are in good shape. You know, marketers will come, buyers will come, and people will make money. Because the first thing first is that you have to look for a way to first of all put money into the hands of the citizens so that they can be able to sustain themselves first. What is their well-being? Are they okay? Someone who is not thinking well cannot think of making money. So that is where well-being is also coming from. You have to make sure that the infrastructures are good. They now look at what you have comparatively. Is it still enough? Is there any for us to borrow? Then you make policies. Say, for example, the money Edo State is making from agriculture today by attracting investors alone is huge. It's very huge. The money Edo State is getting from ICT alone is very huge. The agricultural hub, the Victor Waifo, the tourism, the talent show. Just look at our dear younger brother now, Rema, Charlie Poppy, and none of that. You must create an enabling environment. Just look at the Samuel Gbemuja Stadium the last time. The number of people that came to watch Rema. Those people, they are going to buy tickets to watch Rema. They are going to buy food. They are going to buy snacks. These are the indicators of economy. And we are bringing digital into it. And you must be able to manage the resources you have, the wealth you have. How are you able to manage it? Because you can manage it well, and there's accountability, there's integrity. Others will now look and say, look, let me come and invest. And Ighodalo has made us to understand that there is a huge amount of money lying fallow in the world. The investors are looking for where to invest in. So what is going to happen? If we can resuscitate that cement factory in Okwila and in Ewu, we look to, these are the things we are talking about. We have already existing policies. To be honest, Edo State has been well structured. It's just effective running of the state. And that is one of the areas Governor Obaseki actually addressed. If you look at the Palm House, the civil service building secretariat that was commissioned recently by former President Goodluck Jonathan, you see that was an initiative of former governor, late Samuel Ogbemudia. You know, the State School of Nursing, it was there. If you go there today, you see the modern facilities, you see what they are doing, you see that the quality of programs they run there. So we already have some existing structures that we just need to tweak them. We just need to make them functional. And those that are not working well, we tweak it a bit. And if there is need for us to bring in more policies, which I believe Ighodalo is going to do, is going to formulate more policies so that we'll be able to amass, we'll be able to increase IGRO base of the state. And then we move forward, we focus the money we are going to gain from it, we use it to address other areas where there are deficiencies. That's the only way. Abuja cannot save us. It has failed. So there are many indicators. You not look at cocoa alone. Look at if you go to Sabogdaura, where they have cocoa, where they have cashew and plantain. If you can able to look at this, for example, the process, do you know that we have rice processing facilities? If we can jack it back, we produce rice in this country, and then we mill rice in Edo State. Do you know what that means? The flour mill in Ewu, for example, some of the Guinea corn that they use to make those things, they are being imported. or they go as far as the northern part of this country to go and import them. You know what transportation effect will be. You know the cost of buying will be. If we can have an environment where we can plant them within Edo State, and we're able to do that, it's going to reduce the cost of governance, and it's also going to reduce the price of those goods and all of that. So with all of these ICT, tourism, and all of that, we'll be able to gather money, to raise money. These are economic indicators, wealth creations, and all of that. So, and an effective management of it. You look at the tax system, tasking system, you know. So these are the things, and we'll be able to, by doing that, we're also going to be productive, youthful people, because when you train them and they contribute to the economy grows. You are not looking at human development index. You are developing the youth. You are developing the people. There's money to run the country, and there's the state, and there's accountability. So this is how the economic system is going to work. And another aspect is inclusive growth. What does that actually mean? Say, for example, Edo North, Edo Central, and Edo South, they have economic indicators unique to them. So you now want to look at comparative economic advantages. For example, those are rare cashew. You know, you import cashew. Those that are good at rice production. Ikobauka is already starting the industrial hub in Edo South today. So what do they have? We now create economic agencies in those senatorial districts to leverage on what they have over there. And like I said, don't forget that security is the utmost priority, if you allow me to use that word. So if we are secure, I think we'll be able to attract these things. What Igodalo is saying, that this is not really too hard. This is not a time where an adult person is not able to eat before going to bed. This is not the time where you will still be struggling for people. People are still struggling to bathe with plantain leaves covering them and all of that. So this is what he's saying, that it is not a difficult thing. It's just to have working policies and have leaders who have compassion for the people, who are clear-headed, not those that are claiming that they are coming to destroy one of the economic indicators. You know, they could not give us ShopRite. They promised to give us for 8 years. They couldn't give us, and they are threatening to make it shop dead. You know, a government brought ShopRite. ShopRite is going to employ people. It's going to pay tax. They are going to be rendering services. Instead of you to think of how to bring more ShopRite, how to bring more investors, how to bring more fame, you are openly saying it in public that you are going to make it dead. That means you are going to kill that franchise, and those that are working there, they are going to be chased away, and the tax and the money they were remitting to the government, they are going to stop. And at the end of the day, what is done to achieve? And that's why we are saying that, look, Edo people should be very sensitive. They should be very careful. They should be very, they have to watch those that say they want to govern them, who truly love them, who has come with that compassion, who has come with that idea, who has come with that blueprint to actually lift them to economic prosperity. And that is where Swegodano and his team has actually distinguished themselves. So this is what we are saying. And then again, you agree with me that there is evidence Igodalo has done this before. And it will be easy for you to believe that, yes, he can do it again. So that is it.
So that's a good one. Anyway, the issue of ShopRite will be a debate for another day, whether it is good for us or not, or whether we should be having our own ShopRite. Or anyway, but let me end this conversation with you by talking about the way our governors communicate with us. Now, I've been listening to you, and Edo people, I pray that they listen to what you have just said today. Not only because of this election, but because of the prosperity of the land. That's what you're talking about. And how do you do this if you don't have even a local television station? So I'm going to ask this. In Delta State, where I'm more familiar, we have 2 TV stations with the Delta Broadcasting Services. The governor has not gone there to make a speech one day. When they want to do things, they go and put it on channels, or they put it on 98, so they will be famous. Leaving the internal, and I asked, when Okowa was doing it, I asked Okowa, are you talking to us or are you talking to the people in the state? These are the people you need to be talking to. You need to carry them along. You're talking about how we're going to do things. The first thing you do is to carry people along. What Tony Blair taught me in the course of following politics in the UK, he said before he even introduced a policy, he will make sure he set up a communication to communicate, to pass the message to the people, sensitize the people on the policy he's trying to do, sell it to them. Now, the question I ask is, what will your governor do differently from Obaseki? But Obaseki said he doesn't like praising names, but you need to communicate to the people because you need to carry the people along so they will support you. You'll be surprised that the ordinary Edo people will even be giving you the money you're looking for abroad. Let me ask you this way. If people, I'm of the belief that if people will go to church on Sunday and they listen to the pastor, after which they put on their pocket and contribute, if you tell Edo people what you are doing, they will actually, they will not ask you money. They will put the money to it. We are not stupid people. The truth is our governors are not communicating. They may have it up here, they might be doing things, they don't communicate. If they communicate, then they should have a local TV station that does that. They should have the effective radio. They should be having more effective way to, not the way we're doing it here. I'm talking to you from abroad. We're going to appeal to the diaspora and some few people, but the local people need to be carried along. So my question is, what will your governor Igodaro, I want to call him governor already because he's a candidate and we're looking forward to when they become governor. So I respect everybody. What I'm saying is, what will he do differently to make sure that he's able to carry the people along through effective communication? Without it, you'll be doing the great things and you're not carrying us along, and we can't even support you. We'll be talking trash of it because you didn't carry us along, not because of our fault, because we are not part of it. But by the time you're able to say, hey, look at what you've done today. If the governor will come out and begin to talk to people, today communication is cheap. It's not like before. There's nothing wrong if a governor will be making broadcasts on mobile phone, but provided it gets to the people, people will join. You understand? Many of them don't even have the WhatsApp group, and they don't talk on the WhatsApp group. They let their, you understand? So these things are very important. So my question again is, what is he going to do to communicate with us when he becomes a governor?
Thank you very much once again. Those references you made just now, they are very important. And I agree with you that government must devise an effective means to communicate with the locals. The problem is still centered on trust. For example, how many people watch data broadcasting TV in your state?
They don't anymore. They don't.
Even if it is free, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, they don't.
In those states as it is, this era of technology has brought revolution, and
Yes.
only those states in this country has taken the biggest advantage of it. Say, for example, we are the first and the only at the moment running digital government. We have 18 local governments in Edo State, and they have administrative headquarters. As we speak to you now, there is already now internet facilities at the state administrative headquarters, local government administrative headquarters. What does that tell you? It means that you have brought information to them, and then again, this era of technology, people use devices. Even in Edo State, it's only here you see that even a woman of 85 years old is still using Android. Yes,
Exactly.
it's Android, not just a mobile phone.
Yes.
That's to tell you the level of social inclination we have had in this country, in Edo State. So it is very, very crucial or extremely important that we elect leaders who are digitally savvy, who understand what information is. And I will give it to Governor Baseki because he has laid fiber optic or cables across the 18 local governments to link them up. And one of the advantages of that is going to reduce the cost of governance. We have internet centers now across Edo State where you can browse freely. Do you know what that means? I'm telling you now, right where I am, I'll just log in EdoNet. You can Google it from there. EdoNet, I'm just and it's free. And it's free. So that is how to make people productive, because people begin to be, they now have this global consciousness. You are talking to me from London. I'm in Nigeria. I'm in Benin City right now.
Yes.
So you can see the power of effective communication. So how do we now leverage on it? How do we now take it to the people? Only Edo State government in Nigeria that has been able to do that. And as well, Odalo is coming to improve more on it. It only takes those that understand the foundation to know where the building is going, how to build on it. Because if you don't allow them, they are going to put the block wrongly, they are going to put whatever it is wrongly. And that is why we are struggling and we are fighting to say that, look, the only person that can continue from this. Just imagine that I'm in GRA, I'm looking at the security situation in Oluku and in Obahi. This thing didn't just come as a result of just talk, thinking. And you know the funny thing, there is an emergency response service 24/7 going on there. Just about a few days ago, a building collapsed at Ekosodi. Was it at Ekosodi? Somewhere around Ubawa. Do you know that within the shortest possible time, Edo State Emergency Service arrived there and everybody was evacuated, no casualty. That's the thing. These are the things we never had before. And you see, as a result of effective response management, and that is communication. You don't need to argue that it is effective communication. So we are going to deliberate more on that. We have EBS in Edo State. I'm a regular guest at EBS. You have the independent television radios, and then you have the radio stations. Just this morning, Igodalo was on ITV, was in ITV on Man Around Town. That's a pidgin program in IT, because he said he believes that most times, instead of going to those national TV,
exactly,
with our people
first. People. Thank you.
And you know what makes him distinguish, what has made him distinguish himself again, is that he's the only person. He goes, if he's on Man Around Town today, I will be in EBS. Another person will be on another place. Another person from his team. So that is how we are trying to see. Look, let us tell the people, let us give them this information, because they are going to be misled if care is not taken. And again, himself, you know, somebody's trying. Election is September this year. He started meeting community leaders since late November last year. I was there, starting from his home in Ewoimi there, meeting opinion leaders, religious leaders, whatever leaders, unions, and all of that. How do we move this state forward? What are the challenges? So no other candidate can boast of doing that. He's the only one. Those who can say that, oh, they cannot communicate through radio and television, he went to their doorstep to meet them. Go to the markets, go to everywhere. It's only Aswe Udalo and his apostles. So that's to tell you the effort he is making to ensure that Edo State move forward. Not those that are threatening, that are making threats, intimidation, and all of that to rig election using the federal might. And Edo people are saying that, look, you people cannot govern us if you don't want to talk to us. We will not also allow you to force your way into our lives. And that's why you are kind of seeing a kind of a tension going into the election. So all of these will be addressed. Obaseki is, in fact, you know, I don't want to look like, oh, you are praising, but he has done well. And I am very proud to defend him, and I'm very proud to praise him, because what he's doing is for a futuristic effect in this state. Only Edo State has a labor house across the 36 states, and he named after Adamsali Oshomole. So all of this is Edo State has set a pattern. That template must be preserved. If not, if you allow the lions and the tigers to come in, they are going to rubbish everything.
Thank you very much. Good luck, Srtv. I'm proud of you. Very, very proud of you. It's been a warm moment with you in the studio. This is the kind of people I would like to meet on a personal level. You've done well. I'm impressed. And I'm happy with where Edo is taking us. And this debate is important. And I hope that I'll be don't be surprised that when I say, okay, towards the end of this, because I'm the meeting with other candidates as we do this, I'll bring everybody back together to dialogue on the way to move Edo forward. It's important that Edo takes their destiny into their hands.
We're asking them to come. Let us engage. Let us talk to Edo people. They don't want to come and talk.
Yeah, they have to. They have to.
No, they deliberately refused to come out. And they don't also have any document to show to Edo people. Do you know what they are banking on? They are saying that they are going to use the federal might, the security agencies, the INEC to...
It's not going to work.
I don't know the Lagos. I don't know the Lagos.
This is the heartbeat of the nation. Yes.
And this is the best time for all stakeholders to tell Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, President Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, to say, look, be the Democrat you claim you are. Make sure this election is free and fair. Because from what we are seeing in Edo State now, a situation whereby they are harassing our members, They are arresting our political leaders, whisking them away by the Nigerian police force to Abuja at the wee hours of the night, and you are asking us to sign a peace accord. You know, it doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't
Yes,
work that way.
I didn't want to go into that debate yet. Yes.
Okay, all right, no problem. So
no, I just leave it. No, that's fine. It's fine. I didn't want to push you on that department, because the peace accord we said do.
Yes, no, ask any. We are ready to talk with. As we are talking now, Ighodalo is already outside talking to people. He just left the studio and it's and when I leave here too, that's the same thing I'm going to do.
Exactly. Please take the message, and it's very important that we take the message. Like the way Jesus said, go and preach the gospel. And that is what pastors are doing. And when they tell me, oh, Nigerian people need money to win election. No, they don't. It's only when you don't communicate, then you communicate with money. If people will go to church on Sunday and they hear the good news and they pay their offering and their tithe, trust me, if somebody come and preach good governance to Nigerians and they believe, they will contribute to the campaign. They will not be asking you money. And that is exactly where my faith is and my hope is as
well. And then again, especially the diaspora, they should do enough. They are already working. I can see a lot of diasporans in Edo State now. They basically come to the state to ensure that the right candidate is being voted in. But we have a set of people who believe that they cannot talk to the people. They are going to use the instrumentality of the state, I mean the state apparatus, to rig themselves in, to destroy, to cause mayhem and violence.
Just not like in the 21st century.
Just like, no, they're already doing that.
I don't know Lagos. I don't never had the habit of the nation.
No, yes, of course. That's what we are telling them, because if there's going to be any attempt to do otherwise outside the normal process, we are going to resist them fiercely by whatever means. We are going to defend ourselves. We are going to defend our vote. All we are saying now is that we have spoken to the people. We are the only ones talking to them. Let them go and vote. But this atmosphere of tension, of intimidation, harassment, arrest, they are trying to create in the mind of the people is going to lead to voters' apathy. And we are telling the Nigerian police force, the INEC, that look, you are coming to protect the lives of Edo State people. This election is for Edo State people. It's not for any individual interest. Make sure that you create that level playing ground, that free atmosphere void of intimidation, rigging, and all of that, so that people can have the confidence to say, look, we are electing our leader. And I believe too, that they've resolved on the other side that Srtv is going to win the election on a free and fair template. But what they want to do is to look for a way to intimidate the people so that they don't come out. And then you can see that all the polls that have carried out on this election, they've all favored Ighodalo. The Business Day poll favored him. The API poll favored him. There are some other polls too that have actually favored him. They are looking at what exactly the issues are. They targeted the 2.6 million registered voters, those that have collected their PVCs, those that are willing to vote, all favored Srtv. So I think President Tinubu, as the president of this country, as the chief of armed forces of the federation, should actually guide the Nigeria police force through the Inspector General Police and down to the Commissioner of Police, and those they are going to send to monitor the election to actually create a level playing ground for all to strive. And by the grace of God, ordinarily, elections supposed to be like a concert.
Yes.
Where you just go and vote and then you eat and then you do and all that. But when you have a set of people who are illiterate, who are mediocre, who do not have what to offer the people, and they now want to force themselves on the persons, it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. And even you have an associate. I am speaking on behalf of Ighodalo right now. What can you say about other candidates? Even the elder statesmen like Adamsali Oshomole is on television, as oratory as it is. He cannot even tell Edo people what his candidate can do, other than trying to malign, to denigrate, and to just, what comes out of their mouth, their utterances, their body languages, all point to violence, and threat, and not that hate, anger. I wouldn't know why they are doing that, but there is just one reason they want to do that. They know that they have failed this country. The APC-led federal government has destroyed this country. They've caused more pains on this country. They've caused poverty, hunger, and they are planning to rig the election using the instrumentality of the state and to also buy the conscience of the people, because the poverty they cause on them, they want to buy their conscience on that day. And we are telling the Edo people, look, whatever it is, we will vote, we will protect, defend our vote until it is announced.
Thank you very much. That's a good place to wrap it up. Thank you very much. The path to prosperity for all. The candidacy of Asue Ighodaro and the like. We're proud of you, young man. Good luck. I don't know about your candidate, like the other guy said. You see, there's something I want to say. I like this. When the young man said, listen, I don't know about Jesus, but I believe in my pastor. I believe in you. All right. And if you can recruit a good disciple, that is a start. Meaning it will be
that's what Ighodaro is doing. Yeah. You know, a tortoise cannot give birth to a lion.
Yeah, so exactly. So,
youths like us, and that is why he's the only one that has a good program for the youths. Yes. So the youths will form the basis of this of his administration. And it's going to grow them. It's going to make them productive. That's the essence of it. He's saying that the future of the youth is now, not next.
Of course.
It's now we have arrived. So we have to take advantage. And that's why he said that the future is AI. It's AI. It was launched, and this is mostly pursued by the youth. So we are going to do it. We believe in Asue Ighodaro. We believe in what he's coming to do, what he has done before. And by the grace of God Almighty and the will of the people, those that want to bring back darkness upon Edo State and his people, they will be all disappointed.
Thank you very much. Well, that's a very good a good way to end the show. I'm delighted to have this young man on the program today. He has done what he has to say. He has. I put him a little bit on the hot seat, and he has told me he can do better than I thought, and I'm really proud of him. And there's the big people supporting you here. I believe strongly that Dr. Asue Ighodaro has the capacity to make Edo State a first-class, world-class economy. That is what we want to hear. Thank you very much. So, we'll be having more of this debate. I want to have you back before the elections. I'm very 100% sure. I'll be looking forward to that. All right. Thank you very much, and thank you for joining me today.
You're welcome, sir.
So that's where we call it a wrap on this very special edition of the show. It's Edo Decide. And I put in a countdown because it's no more, we're a few days to the election. The election is on the 21st, which is on Saturday. I pray that we go out there and vote peacefully and the will of the people count. The speaker was indeed splendid. He was splendid. It was good. And that's it. It's about the communication. My last question is, when you come to force yourself on the people, it's like you're raping a woman. You don't need to do that. If you talk to her and you appeal to her, she will marry you. You don't need to rape her. That's the people. We are the people. We want a husband, but you don't force yourself on us. So come tell us what you want to do, and if you are the right person, we'll marry you. If you're not, we'll tell you no. And that's what a girl does every day in their life. They choose a partner based on what you tell them, based on how you appeal to them. And that is how any candidate must treat us today. And in this election, please, you guys, look at those people who are trying to force themselves into you and those who want to really be your husband. And that is what I would say to people in Edo State. And like I said, Edo stand and they have all the potential to be great, and Edo must be great. And if we're going to achieve that, it starts from elections like this, where we come out to vote and we defend our votes. I'm sure the other political parties have their saying. I'll be having a couple of other political candidates in the show before Saturday. It's going to be a busy day, busy days right here at Srtv. I'll do my best to accommodate as many as come. Jesus Christ said, many are called, fewer. The few ones that came are the one he has taken. So I won't be able to force people into a debate, but you heard from this young man, and I'm really, really impressed. I must say that. I conduct interviews, and I know how I can be hard. I know the level of knowledge I'm looking for. You cannot give what you don't have. He's very clear. He's been able to sell this candidate agenda. Let's see what the other political parties got to do. So that's where I end the show. The show lives on and it's on and on until the day of the election. It's a countdown to Edo 2024. We're going to choose a good governor and Edo is going to move forward. That's where I end the show today. Until tomorrow when I'll be here with another candidate, I'm going to say goodbye for now. Stay blessed. Bye.
Looking for a home away from home in Abuja? Look no further than Srtv Shortlet Apartments. Our fully furnished apartments offers everything you need for a comfortable and relaxing stay. Unwind in spacious rooms with exquisite ambience. Cook delicious meals in our well-equipped kitchen and relax in our comfortable sitting rooms watching your favorite shows. And guess what? 247 Wi-Fi available. But that's not all. Srtv goes extra mile by providing a car to take you around town during your stay. No need to worry about navigating public transportation or hailing taxis. Explore Abuja at your own pace. Book your Srtv Shortlet apartment today and experience the perfect blend of comfort and convenience.
Srtv. Innovative content.